Welcome to the Masters of Basketball, alongside with Chris Ramirez and Lab Woods. And today we have a special guest on our show. I'd like to welcome Carlos Ibarra, who is the president of the Masters Experience in Ecuador. Just to let you know, Carlos is a native of Brooklyn, New York, in the East New York area. And right now he resides in Guatemala, Ecuador. We welcome Carlos, and Carlos, thank you for coming on to our show. How's it going today?
Doing good. Thank you for having me. And I have to let you know, it's not Guatemala, it's Guayaquil.
Guayaquil. Okay. Thank you for that correction.
Yes.
All right. Hey, lad, talk about your relationship with Carlos and just share that with us.
Sure. Just want to let you know that El Presidente Carlos Ibarra is the president of Masters Experience in Ecuador. He's been very instrumental in the Masters Experience events in Colombia. We've been to Cali, Colombia. We've been to Guayaquil, Ecuador, and even prior to that, Carlos has been a very solid producer in his own right in regards to a number of the events, Masters age events that we've done throughout the 5 boroughs in New York City. But in addition to what we've done with those particular events, we were also able to produce 2-on-2, 3-on-3 events dealing with the younger portion of our community, the young adults, the teens, and he's been a mentor to a number of the young men throughout the New York City, in particular, Queens Village, New York. And me and Carlos met at the FIMBA Pan American Games in Costa Rica. We met as enemy combatants, but we had an opportunity to break bread and talk and come to understand that we had both lived in the greater New York community, which was really like a joy to me to be able to travel with the FIMBA USA men's team and compete against Ecuador. And they have an incredible team. And if it wasn't the championship game, it's probably the semifinal game. And I don't think the margin of victory was any more than 5 or 6 points. I'm pretty sure Carlos probably knows what the score was.
It was 4 points, La. It was 4 points.
4 points. So it was a very competitive game. He's an incredible athlete, even though he's not that tall, but he's a rebounder. He's a solid defender. And, just really a great guy that we got a chance to have our families meet and network. So we're so glad that we have him here on the program. And I've been to Ecuador a few times at the Masters Experience events down there. And I've traveled with Carlos, as I mentioned, to Cali, Colombia. And we also went to Cartagena and did rather well with the Ecuador experience in Cartagena, Colombia.
Wow, you guys travel all around South America, especially you guys travel the country. And we're going to get into that a little bit shortly about how we can get people participating, getting to know you about the Masters basketball experience. And that's something definitely people will love to hear about. And
yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yes, and as I mentioned before on other broadcasts, you can always go to the website, which is frontcourtmasters.com, frontcourtmasters.com for the schedules, upcoming events, not only in the Central and South America, but also the events that we do around the United States.
Excellent, excellent. Right now, thank you for sharing that, Lad. Carlos, we just want to talk about your experiences and just talk about what it was just growing up in East New York, in the Brooklyn area.
Okay. Well, listen, I lived in the 4 boroughs in New York.
Oh, okay.
I lived in the Bronx. I lived in the Bronx where I learned how to play ball at a young age. And 7 years old, started playing, and I went to school in Manhattan, and then we moved to Brooklyn, and I went to school in Queens, which is August Martin High School. That's where we played. That's where I played 2 years of basketball in August Martin. Yeah.
Talk about playing at August Martin. How was the team? Tell me about the players on the team. Who's the best players during that time, during your when you was playing?
when I was playing in New York City, we talk about Al King, Sidney Green, Sam. I played against Sam Wortham, Franklin K. Lane.
Yes.
My teammates were David Underwood, Randy Reed, which is probably nobody probably knows. You know, there's a lot of players that people don't know, and you know these are great players. I think Randy Reed could have made it to the pros, definitely. He had other issues. He had other things to do. Jimmy Wright went and played with her. I played with Jimmy Wright. He went to play in Spain professionally. Played in Spain, Uruguay, Argentina, and David Underwood. I don't know where he went, but I know he played somewhere in Spain also, or Uruguay. He played professionally. And Irv Chapman didn't play with him. Irv Chapman was he was a senior when I was just in ninth grade, and he had a chance to go and play with the Ernie and Bernie show, but he elected to go somewhere else. He was supposed to go to Tennessee. He got a scholarship to Tennessee. I don't know why he didn't go, but yeah, those are my experiences in high school. Lance Durham. I mean, there's a bunch of players that, listen, I always say in the 70s, New York had players like Brazil have soccer players. You go to the beach and you find, and you just pick out this dude and a great soccer player. That's what you had in New York. You go to the park and you see great soccer players. They don't play in high school. They don't, they have other issues. They had, it was different times.
Excellent. We want to give a shout out to the class of 1977 at August Martin. I know you graduated in 1977. I know you played in the summer leagues. I know you growing up playing the PAL, the CYO, Elm Course, CDY. Talk about the summer talk about that competition and just talk about how it was.
Well, it's different. It's different basketball. Like you play different basketball in East New York, and there's a different kind of basketball you played in Hollis, Queens, and Jamaica Queens. So CYO is different, So PAL is different. You have different kind of players. You have different races, and then that's when you say, damn, this dude, this white dude, they could play, and I saw that when we played in CYO. When I played in CYO, I played for St. Malachi's, and we played all these schools from Catholic schools, and there you see great ball players. You don't see them in the park though, but that's where they play. CYO.
A lot of good competition, intense basketball. That's where it was. That was bread and butter right there. No doubt about
the 70s was probably one of the best decades of basketball we had here in New York. Unfortunately, drugs got to a lot of ball players.
Yes, definitely. We're going to move on there. We're going to talk about your involvement. What is your involvement as president of the Masters Basketball Experience? Just tell us about what your role entails and just share that with us, Carlos.
Listen, man, I was done playing basketball about 5 or 6 years ago. The coach from Ecuador called me and asked me to be on the team to go to Costa Rica. And I said, all right, I didn't have anything to do. I told him I haven't played ball in years. So I tried to get in shape. We went to Costa Rica, and I think that was the best choice I ever made because I met there my brother La, which I consider him my brother, my family. And we started from there. We just started talking, where you from? And he went to Aviation High School where I played against Aviation High School, and I asked him, I never saw you on the team. He said, I never was on the team. So we just started laughing, and we met. Listen, like I said, New York City had great ball players. You probably didn't see them, playing in high school. You probably didn't see them in the park. you know, New York is so big. And listen, La is a great ball player. And he asked me, you know, to join him, to do tournaments, invite me to tournaments. And I've been on board since then. And he named me presidente of Ecuador and South America of Masters Experience. So, you know, I'm here to help him, and I would never give up the ship, man. I'm there with him all the time.
Excellent. Yes, Larry, it's great. We go way back. We've been involved with the basketball community together, playing the Encore and working together, and just seeing just many years sharing that experience. And just moving on, growing up in Ecuador, what is the commute? How popular the game is down there in Ecuador? Talk about the community and the popularity of it.
You know, unfortunately, you know, when you have governments that decide not to, you know, not to feed the the basketball world or the schools or you know the colleges. So you know basketball died like for 10 years, man, in Ecuador. But you have great ball players there. La could tell you, you know, we played against La, and La played over there. We played in Colombia, and La could tell you the kind of ball players you have. You'd be surprised the kind of ball players there in South America, man. You'll be surprised. They're very good ball players. Very, very good fundamentally wise. Very good ball players.
And Lad, talk about your playing experience here. You've been there several times. Talk about what you experienced.
Well, in Central South America, Ecuador, the quality of basketball is at a very, very high level. And first of all, let me just say this. Carlos has been very, very humble in regards to what he's referring to. He hasn't actually told you a little more. Let me tell you a little more about his past playing experience. In particular, in Ecuador, they have club basketball. They have professional, where each community supports a club and they play, and their professionals have been. This league has been in place for a number of years. Carlos participated in it. Also, you got a couple of Americans who will stand out there. West Korea, out of New York City, also David Ankrum. So there has always been an influence in competitive level, a high level of competitive basketball that's been played in Ecuador. And the quality is still very high. When you travel there, the accommodations are excellent. The facilities are incredible. Where the Ecuador Masters Experience is held at the Olympic training facility in the capital, Guayaquil. So you have all the Olympic athletes that are training in the same campus. So it's not only basketball, which is one of the largest gymnasiums in the Colegio, one of the largest gymnasiums in the country. So it's really a great, great opportunity to network socially. The people there are incredible, very warm, very receiving. Also, if you have an opportunity to actually interact with the local people, they're very welcoming. The competition is high. The food is excellent. The exchange rate, even though they use American currency, the exchange rate, the value for your time there will be well invested and well spent. So we look forward to going. You know, they have an event coming up in April. I'm sure Carlos has the dates. They're doing 3-on-3 in April. Also, every year, every November, they are hosting the Ecuador Masters Experience. It's in Guayaquil once again. We're not sure, maybe it may move in the future, but right now we're in the capital, and I think the facilities are excellent, and it's just a really great time. So every time I've been to Ecuador, I've had an amazing time. The weather's, you know what the weather is, it's Ecuador, it's right on the equator. So there's a lot of good things.
Remember, you got your mama there.
That's right. That's right. Beautiful family. Mama takes care of us when we come there, and you can't go wrong. You know, peace and blessings. Shout out to Miss Mama Ibarra. And she's always a big supporter of what we're doing there. And the food at the Ibarra house is, it doesn't get any better than that.
Finger licking good, right?
All
right.
right, yes. You get treated very well down there in Ecuador, I see.
That's right, especially my brother-in-law.
All right. Yeah, so you gotta come and then start. You have an event there in November of 2022. Then I know you
Yes.
have the 3-on-3 plus the kids clinic. Just talk about a lot of that and how many participants and share that along. Is it just talk about, is it men's and women's, or just share that with us?
November the 4th to the 6th of this year, 22, is going to be a tournament, basketball tournament, Masters Experience, the second tournament in Guayaquil, Ecuador, and that's going to be in November the 4th to the 6th. Then we have another tournament, which is 3-on-3. Is on Santa Elena, is near, like 5 minutes away from probably one of the best beaches in the world, Salinas, and that's going to be on April 15 to the 17th. We have another tournament here, and as a matter of fact, February the 16th through the 25th in Quevedo is a province of Ecuador, where they having just the local teams from that city participating. They're probably going to be like 20, 25 teams there, or just from that part of Ecuador. We're trying to and every event we have clinics for children. That's a must. If there's no clinic, there's no tournament. So that's what we do every time we go somewhere, Colombia, Costa Rica, anywhere. We do clinics for kids. That's the most important thing.
That is the most important thing. And share us the clinics. What do you guys do with the kids? Tell us about the kids clinic. What is the age bracket, and just how can the children get involved?
La?
Well, what we primarily do is we want to create the first time experience for the children. We want to give them that first exposure, usually a cultural complement to it, whether we try to introduce music or tradition and culture in some capacity. But what we try to do is incorporate hoops and culture. And because it's so important for our children to have great first experiences with the game. And we deal with elemental fundamental skills. We spend a little time with them, and we have an opportunity to share a few gifts to give them some encouragement about their lives, their academics. And then we just try to instill in them that they are a major part of our community, and we respect and we love them. So we've had some success with the clinics, and we usually find a day, usually in the middle of the tournament, we'll find a day or a morning to dedicate some time to the children, to have an opportunity to have them plug in and participate. And that's so very important. So, in a sense, it's like a three-legged stool. On one end, you have tradition and culture. The other end, you have basketball. And then the other end, you really have to have some type of an educational complement.
Definitely.
That's kind of going to go hand in hand to make sure that not only that it's intergenerational, because that's very important for the elders to have an opportunity to interact with the youth of those communities. So that's pretty much about it. That's been the formula we've used in the United States, and it's been the formula that we've been able to have embraced in Ecuador and other places.
And just to let you know, a couple of things. What is the future for the Masters experience, not just in Ecuador, but worldwide? And just how do we get people who are interested, they want to sign up, or how would they go about this, or want to play in it? Just share that with us.
Well, right now, we do have other international dates, other national dates that are coming up. It's a little early to announce, but we will definitely be in New York, Atlantic City, New Jersey. There's some discussion about Vegas. We also have a number of events, and we do an annual event in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, which is always a great time. We do a holiday classic in the New York, New Jersey area. And then we also have our leagues that are ongoing, the New York Senior Citizens League, the South Connecticut Senior Citizens League, and the New Jersey Senior Citizens League. But the best way to contact to get the updated information every month is either here at the Hoop Post, where you can tune in and get some information, or you go to hooppost.com and you'll be linked directly to frontcourtmasters.com. That's frontcourtmasters.com for the updated schedule of Masters events throughout the world.
Okay, and Carlos, how can we, anybody wants to sign up in Ecuador or interested in knowing more information about the Masters experience down there, how can they be able to reach out to you, Bob?
The same place. The same
Okay.
place, just the same place. Masters Experience, Front Court Masters, Hoop Host, the same place.
Okay.
We're gonna do some more advertisement and maybe next week, you know, but it's the same place.
Perfect. Perfect. Any final thoughts?
You know, I just when Lon was talking about the kids, I just remember we were somewhere in Colombia and we did a clinic for the kids, and it was, you know, like Lon said, it was encouraging for the kids, but it was to me, it was encouraging to me because, you know, the kids, after we did the clinic, we gave out some shirts, they put them on, it was a big thing for them, and all of a sudden kids started asking La to sign their shirts. That was like, I said, wow, La, signing shirts like the big time, you know, movie star and all that. That was very, very, very encouraging to us. I mean, to me, to keep doing clinics, because these kids are grateful. You know, they are very thankful, and that action that these kids started doing, asking Lab to sign their shirts, was beautiful.
Wonderful. Lad, anything else you want to share?
Hey, great memories, great opportunities to network, great opportunities to travel. Yes. A lot of people think that some of these things are not attainable. Some people might believe that, hey, it's over at age 30 or age 40, but hey, you know, none of us can do what we used to do athletically, but we can still be valuable members of our community. We can share our skills and knowledge with younger folks, and we can still play a little bit and get up and down the court in our age bracket. And that's always a great thing. Having an opportunity to travel, having an opportunity to interact with common people and common goals all around the world is a great experience. So if folks want to get involved, they want to plug in, I think, you know, it's a great network that we've built nationally, and the international network is growing. So Chris, we cannot thank you enough for having us on this week, and we greatly appreciate the Hoop Post.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing, guys. Carlos, thank you for coming on, sharing your story and about the Masters experience in Ecuador. And guys, if you want to reach out to Carlos, you can reach him out on Twitter at Carlos Ibarra. And to reach out to Lad, you can reach him out on Instagram at Front Court Masters, and also at the website at www.frontcourtmasters.com. I can be reached on Instagram and Twitter at The Hoop Post, and my website is www.thehooppost.com. We'd like to thank you for tuning into our show, and definitely we'll see you next time. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you.